This, I'm going to cover some technique and footwork for sidestepping and actually stepping back and retreating from an attacker and going straight back and then to the side, either side. And also, we're going to go over a little bit of footwork where you're really close to your opponent and you want to kind of go 90 degrees or sweep around them as quick as you can to keep your distance so you can block a counter and have a more difficult time for them to come after you and attack you in that position. So let's talk about real quick with this pivoting technique and the footwork. I wanted to show you to utilize that as most you can for a quick retreat, sidestep, and to get in position for counterattack. Now, it's harder to retreat fast with stable body positioning and strong stances than it is to go forward. You know, if you think about it, we're designed as humans to walk forward fast and run, and everything's going great, and you can do multiple things. But if you're walking backwards, you're like, okay, I don't see anything behind me, first of all. Second of all, you're like really cautious, we're slower. Okay, try to run back compared to run forward, right? We're all very careful to make sure we're not going to be off balance, okay? Same thing here in karate, going backwards, retreating. It takes a lot of extra practice and get your mind and training to that being second nature. Think about somebody attacking you really strong and doing multiple technique, kicks, punches, and you try to block those and then get hit or try to defend that. Your brain is mainly taken over and trying to just get out of the way with your legs because it's unstable and you're not confident. So if you practice the stance changes and quickly moving back and get that second nature, then your defense and your technique on scoring and being in the right position is going to vastly improve. Okay, so I'll go over some techniques real quick that's going to help with retreating. First of all, when we retreat and we start going where multiple attacks, you have to do like 3 steps back, you are going to be going, okay, by then, where am I doing, what am I, and your brain's going to go in a little panic mode, okay? And then I see a lot of people trying to get out of the way eventually, and they start retreating with their feet like this, close together, and basically almost standing up, moving out of the way, and stuttering back, okay? Absolutely will get you in big trouble because of one sweep away from being on the floor or getting punched in the face and not being able to defend yourself properly. Okay. So first of all, when you retreat, make sure you're concentrated and have an even wider stance than normal. Okay? Because if you start doing inline stuff, trying to get out of the way, that's going to be off balance. Second of all, it's going to slow you down. Third of all, you won't be able to have the right positioning for defense. Okay? So make sure your wide stances. Okay, now if you land on that leg, you got a wider stance, you can easily, with your feet together in the same line and the knees bent, you can sidestep either direction, right? So in other words, when I step back here, I could go this way, okay? It's really hard to do that if your feet are in line trying to get that momentum the other direction, okay? So step back here, push that direction, okay? You step back here, push this direction. Okay, now, I recommend changing the angle like that a little bit instead of trying to go straight back, because then, okay, your upper body is going to be swinging back and forth. Okay, so remember the training that we do when we come forward, we throw our hips forward, we rotate the hips forward so you don't get your shoulders forward because of leaning. Same thing here, since you're going back, it's opposite. Okay, you don't want your hips to go first, like this, because then it's throwing you forward. So you got to concentrate on getting your shoulders back first, okay? Shoulders back, like this, okay? Pushing, okay? You have to use your muscles to do that. Because if you think about it, if we bend at the waist normally, we take our force this way, it's going to throw you forward, okay? So we got to counteract that by first pushing back, okay? With our shoulders in this direction. Okay, you got to stay upright and have your hands in the right position, like this. So your hands will, okay, be effective. Okay, all right. So as far as the footwork is concerned, I suggest that we use, instead of full stances, pushing back. A lot of times, okay, that's going to be more challenging because now you got to take all this part in motion at the same time, properly going back. So I suggest once you start back here, you half step and bring it back. It's a little easier half stepping, okay? In other words, you come here, you bring this back, okay, and you push off, okay? All right, so let me show you real quick. On a normal step back, okay, you want to push here, get quick. The problem is this is the leg actually that's going to lunge you back, not the forward leg. The forward leg's going to start it, but you need to get this in the right position to really push off to get another lunge back to retreat. So if you don't have that foot in the right position, you're here, and your toes are this direction, and you don't pivot, you're going to be pushing off and pushing off this way. And look at my foot, okay? I'm off balance. We never want our foot like that in karate, right? So I tell everybody that the first thing you're going to do while you're pushing is push that foot, bend this knee, okay? So get ready to use this big muscle to lunge you back, okay? It's like that, all right? So you got to go here, okay? The first thing is when you go here, front lunge back, okay? Okay, head on in, here, okay? So you go here, okay? Here, okay? First thing here, all right. So if you can bring a side step up, okay? Like a half step to go quicker, okay? When you bring that foot up, instead of here, like this, toe out, you bring it up this way, okay? Here, okay? So you go here, boom. That's a quicker than going straight back, right? Like that. Okay, now when you get the foot in the right position, okay, you can go at an angle. This toe, if it's out like that, incorrect position, you're trying to step back, not so bad going this direction. On your close side, watch, you go push back because you got all that muscle in your foot flat. But if you try to go this right direction after the step, you can't even go that direction. And you're using your heel to push back, okay? And not your muscles and not the ball of your foot, okay? Anytime on your heel, remember, anytime you're on your heel, not using your muscles for control. You're using your bones only for stances. So like if you're up like this, trying to get like this, you don't have any muscle control. You're on balance because now the bones are in line and your muscles aren't flexed, okay? That's why we go in the ball of their foot. Now we got muscle control. If you try to do all this on your heel, okay, you're falling back. So if your foot's like this at any point, you are actually falling back using gravity. You're trying to do a kick, you're falling back, okay? You always have the heel off the ground, ball of the foot, knee bent. Use your muscles and get stability. Okay. So it's back to here where if I don't have like that, I'm not going to be able to pivot and get a side step. Okay, so retreating side step. So I go here, okay, and push off. Okay, not so bad. If you pivot and you go left to 90 or 45, this way is a little more difficult, but if you're going to go to the right here, you just really spin this around. Okay? You pivot, and now you can push back. You'll never be able to do that if your foot's out like this. Here, okay? Get that in there. Have your block up. Okay? So, nice solid stance. All right, so retreating. So when you retreat, okay, so half step up, okay, come back, then you can go 45-degree angle. Okay? He's coming out really hard. The best way to get back faster and to get the most distance is a lunge is limited. Okay, you can only use whatever your muscles can do, 8 inches, whatever. Half step, lunge, good. Step back, pretty good. More distance, half step back, not as much, but faster. I say, bring this and do a shuffle, okay? Shuffle, then a lunge, that's faster, and more distance. Or shuffle, lunge, then a step back, okay? This way. All right, shuffle, lunge, slippery. Gee whiz, okay. Okay, shuffle, lunge, and then a step. All right. All right. On those, when we had those mats, it was hard to get any movement, and now we've cleaned and waxed the floors. Now we're really moving. I'd rather have it this way. We used to have tournaments on gymnasium floors. Remember the days when we didn't have the pads on there? Well, we'd work out on a harder floor like this, and sometimes they really get those slick, and that's why you end up wearing helmets. It came to that because people would fall and really hit their heads on the hardwood floor. Traditional Japanese floor, a little more forgiving. Okay, so I'm going to go over the technique now for moving around on your opponent. Okay, here we go. So if I'm coming forward and I'm doing an attack, okay, and I'm close to my opponent, and he's right there, and now we are in, he's right here, and we're in a elbow type, uppercut, and kind of knees because we're too close, okay? So now if somebody's bigger, usually has advantage, depends on the technique. And second of all, you want to get away anyway to make a clean score in Kumite to make your points. Okay, so if you get close like this, of course you come forward close, you can half step or full step up and get away immediately. In other words, you don't need to go here and stand up and try to brawl. Okay, no brawling, we're trying to get away. So use your momentum of the back leg, okay, as we're stepping here, back leg to come up and immediately go into a stance. And now we got distance for Yakuzuki, okay, blocked. Now if you need to elbow attack, you can lunge in. Okay, same thing, that was a step punch. Same thing if I do a lunge punch. Here, bring it up, out. Okay, so you're bringing up that leg here. Okay, all right, now I'm going to swing around, okay? Swing around my opponent. Now let's just say I do a technique where I do a sweep, okay? Yakuzuki, okay? So I'm going to sweep here, sweep, bring around. Now I'm way around more than 90 degrees, okay? And he's over here. So I could do technique different. Am I too far? Too close? Okay. So in other words, sweep here, boom, come down. Now you can do the same thing as your stepping punch, boom, and then sweep around, okay? Just make sure the foot's pivoting, and so you can push back, or whatever you need for that distance, okay? Okay, so same thing here. I'm gonna go left leg back, step punch. I'm gonna use a forward leg here, sweep around, okay? Just come back all the way around. Okay, you got to have balance on your forward leg, okay? But you'll be able to get a little bit better position, get him off balance, okay? Trying to counterattack. Okay, so I'm going to go over my next segment. I'm going to go over some technique for, punching, striking, and counterattack as well as defense at the same time. And we'll look forward to that. Very good.